Welcome to this brief R tutorial on adjusting and saving plots. Now, the first several videos have covered how to get data into R, how to start to browse that data, do some basic summarizing and visualizing of that data, and now we're starting to get closer to the actual presentation of your analysis. And so, in this video, we're going to talk briefly about how to edit and then save some of the plots that you create. So here, we're really just going to talk about a few things. First, we're going to talk about editing the names of the axes on scatter plots, and then also giving your plots a title. The commands that you're going to use are going to be really easy. We'll go through them. And then the process for saving plots is also pretty straightforward. So here, I'm just going to show how to save your plots as a PDF, which is what I usually do. And then you're also going to need to use this dev off command in order to kind of fully save your plots. So let's go ahead and move to R here. So in order to demonstrate, I'm going to load the faithful data set. And in order to get a bit more information, I'm going to use this question mark command. So this is information about eruptions from the Old Faithful geyser. And it's sort of a smaller data set. There are about 272 observations. And if I use this names command, I can see that I get information on eruptions and the waiting time between eruptions. Now, suppose I'm interested in visualizing this data. I can again use the familiar plot command, and I'm going to put eruptions on the x-axis and waiting time on the y-axis. And when I plot this here, I get a nice scatter plot where I can see that if there are longer eruptions, I need to wait longer generally before I see the next eruption. So this is a nice looking plot. And if I'm interested in communicating this information to someone else, I'm going to need to do a little bit more editing and adjusting before I send it off. You'll notice that the plot currently doesn't have a title, and then the axes have this kind of annoying $sign that follows the R syntax that's going to look kind of confusing to viewers who aren't familiar with R. So as a first thing, I'm going to just again copy and paste this same command, and now I'm going to add a comma and start a new line. You don't need to start a new line, but R is good at breaking up the lines if you include commas. So for example, the above plot would work just fine if I put faithful waiting on its own line. So as an example, I can just run these two lines by pressing Control and Enter for both of them, and then the same plot would appear at right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new line and say xlab equals, and then in parentheses, I'm going to type the name that I want to appear on the x-axis. I'm going to say eruptions in minutes. And then if I execute again all three of these, I can see that R has now changed the x-axis to the label that I input here. Now, it's important to remember that you need these quotation marks in order for R to pick this stuff up. Similarly, if I add a comma here and say ylab equals, and then again in quotation marks, waiting time minutes, and I run all of these, then R is going to again adjust this ylab. And then finally, I can use this main equals command in order to type the title of the plot that I'd like to appear. So I might say something like Old Faithful waiting time versus eruption time. And just so you can see the end here, I've got the end of my quotation marks, and then I need this close parenthesis that goes all the way back to the beginning of this plot command. So when I execute all of these, I can see that my title appears here. So this plot looks pretty good. I mean, it's not great, but this might be good enough for me to save to send off to someone else. So if I've got my plot looking the way that I want it, I can use the PDF command, and then I'm going to give my plot a title. Let's say faithful scatter.pdf, and I need to include this as well so that my computer stores it as the right file type. And then I haven't yet executed it. I'm going to go ahead and below the plotting bit here, I'm going to add a command that says dev.off and then open and close parenthesis. And now when I run all of these, so I'm going to first run the PDF command that tells R to get ready, and I am going to want to save something as a PDF, so I'm going to go ahead and run that. And we see that nothing actually happens, but we need to again rerun the plot now, which sends the information about what to save to R. And then the dev.off command is going to tell R that we're done communicating what we want to be plotted. So I'm going to go ahead and say dev.off. And then if I go back to my files here, let me go up to where my home directory is. Remember that the information about where your home directory is kind of in gray just here. I can see that I now have a PDF for the plot that I've just created. And so here I can click on this, and I can see the PDF pops up that I've just saved. So this is going to be especially useful if I'm writing up a report. I can go ahead and just plop this new PDF into, say, a Word document or some other report that I'm writing. So return to our topics here, we talked briefly about how to add axis labels using this xlab and ylab command. And then we also talked about how to add a title using main. And then the PDF and dev.off commands are going to be kind of what you want to wrap around your plotting commands in order to create PDFs that you can grab from other programs.